I have always referred to my family as the dysfunctional Brady Bunch. We love each other tremendously, but 90% of the time we don't actually like each other. Before puberty gave me a rude awakening and permanently instilled in me a bad attitude, my siblings and I had a tight-knit relationship. Growing up, my family and I had many established routines and traditions. My siblings and I always practiced music on the weekends. We destroyed the house daily by using all of the furniture to build forts. At least once a month we flooded my mother's prized garden by leaving the hose on for hours, and we would constantly create music videos. It was in preparation for one of these music videos that I highlighted the level of dysfunction in my family. At the very wise age of 9, I decided that my brother and sister and I should make a music video where my sister would be singing on top of a ladder in our backyard. Enthralled with my idea, 6-year-old Sam and Cora eagerly got to work preparing for the video. Diving into our project, we set out on the hunt for my dad's video camera that had been abused by us many a time before. Very aware of the abuse that his camera was put through, my dad would unsuccessfully hide his camera from us weekly. Tucked into the far corner of one of his office drawers, we excitedly yanked the expensive camera out. Racing back out to the backyard, I gingerly chucked the device onto the grass. Heading to the garage, we went to the back dark corners to retrieve the main focal point of our video, a rusty ladder. Dragging the ladder out to the yard, we set up the clunky piece of metal and kicked it a few times to ensure it was steady. I instructed Cora to climb to the top and perch herself. She did so, and my brother and I took turns looking through the camera lens to check her placement. As I furrowed my brow and looked through the lens at her, I felt something was amiss. Her look wasn't complete. I told her to come down, and we all went into my parents' bedroom. I dug through my dad's dresser and pulled out one of his wife-beater t-shirts. Cora changed into the oversized shirt, shrugged, and looked up at me. "Now what?" she said impatiently. I paced around her. I still wasn't satisfied with her look. I glanced at her. Her face was surrounded by a tangled mess of long brown hair. "It's too long," I thought to myself. "Come here." I motioned for them to follow me into the bathroom. "We need to add shape to your dress," I said emphatically. Sam nodded in agreement with me and reached for the scissors in the bathroom cabinet. Positioning Cora so that she could not see her reflection in the bathroom mirror, I gripped the scissors and slowly began cutting slits into the shirt. I worked my way up from the base of the shirt to where the tag was. I paused and looked at her hair. "Do it, just do it," I implored myself. Grasping a large chunk of her hair, I roughly chopped it off. I gasped immediately and tried to play off my actions as a mistake. Cora whipped around and pleaded to know why I just did that. "I didn't mean to," I said with wide, horrified eyes. Sam knelt down and picked up her lifeless locks. "Here, Cora," he said nervously. She clutched it and started to cry. "Here, let me look at what I can do to fix this," I said, mustering my confidence back up to finish the job I started. I combed through her hair with my fingers. A large portion of her hair was now missing in the middle. "Well, you can't go to school tomorrow with your hair like this," I said as I pulled the side pieces that still remained at belly button length. I pulled her hair back and held it all together where the middle section had been cut to. "Okay, I'm gonna cut the rest to match this part," I said. Cora nodded her head, and I continued cutting. A few snips later, and her hair was now a crooked diagonal, one end just at the neck, the other at her earlobe. "Oh boy," I said nervously. Cora turned and looked in the mirror. Her eyes widened and she cried in horror and demanded for me to fix my mess. I tried to soothe her. I expressed different compliments that might mask how awful her hair looked. She continued to cry and I shamefully finished the job. Her hair now even and just above the lobes of her ears, I turned her around to face me and nervously smiled. "You really don't look bad, I promise," I said to her. She glared at me and silently left the bathroom. Embarrassed, I put the scissors back and went to the backyard to clean up my stage set. Later that night, I heard my mother's horrified scream as she arrived home from work and saw what I had done to her youngest. My sister was tucked into my mom's bed covers with an oversized hat on that had slipped off enough to reveal what I had done. Furious with me, she scolded me and made me promise to never do something like that again. I promised, apologized to my sleeping sister, and went to bed. A 9-year-old gave her sister a botched haircut. My sister eventually forgave me, and a few years later I wound up cutting her hair again. Eventually, I got karma for my harsh actions towards my sister. In 7th grade, I got lice for the 8th time, and my dad sent me to have my head shaved.